Yeah, there we are. What is up, everyone? Happy Monday. And we're back for another edition of our online open mic, what I like to call a stay at home open mic. My name is Richie David Marrufo. I'll be your MC and host for today. And you can also find me online at Dead Wall Reveries. We are coming to you live from EP, El Paso, Texas, aka El Chuco, home of the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. We are situated here on the El Paso Juarez border between US and Mexico. Many of us call it home, but thanks to the magic of the internet, we're going to be able to connect with people from all over the country, sometimes even the world. So if you're tuning in, thank you so much. This is a space for literary people and singer-songwriters, people who have something that they want to say, get off their chest. They do it in an artistic way, whether it be poetry or prose. We also welcome something called the cover poem. As Kit Wren likes to say, if musicians can do covers, so can poets. So it's a cool way to give tribute to maybe people who inspire us or influence us. On top of that, of course, we do welcome music, singer-songwriters, original music, anything that you're working on. This is a nice way to do it from the comfort of your own home here on Zoom. But of course, if you're watching on YouTube, I want to thank you. It's awesome to have you here. Let us know that you're listening. We do have a live chat if you're watching live. If you're watching this at some point during the week and it's already happened, just leave a comment. Let us know you were tuning in. Say hey. Let us know where you were listening from, and more importantly, as the audience right now, you're kind of intangible. You could be anyone, and so as an intangible audience, we still love audience interaction. So ways you can do it here is you can like the video, you can share it with friends, people who you think might like this kind of thing. You can hear a lot of poetry today, a lot of cool, shocking stuff, funny stuff, sad stuff, stuff that maybe you can relate to, or maybe stuff that will teach you something. So just let us know what lines got to you, made you feel something, shook you into the soul of your bones, or just made you feel something, anything, right? If you are also here as a student from EPCC, I do teach there. I'm one of the English instructors, so you can contact me on I guess Instagram, or you can find my name and send me an email, or you can just leave a comment and I'll get a hold of you and I can get you the code for the Tejano Passport program. If you have no idea what that is, that's fine. But anyway, I'm gonna try and minimize my talking. I'm gonna introduce you to all our wonderful performers today, and if this is your first time hearing them, checking them out, I'm going to encourage them to, as always, share their social media either before or after they perform, as well as any relevant links, including any upcoming feature readings, events, and most importantly, merchandise. We have the holidays coming up, so if you have a book out there, if you have caps or t-shirts or merchandise of any kind, we'll definitely try and share that out so people can buy that. I would definitely recommend, always support peeps like us, the artists, creators. I think that's a great way to spend your money in the holidays, and that's a great gift for people as well. So anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox and my high horse. It's a very slippery slope I was on there, but we're gonna go ahead and kick things off as we have done so often here in El Paso, and we're going to introduce someone who's been so vital to another literary project here on the border called Tumblewords Project. We call her the poet laureate of Tumblewords, but she's also just an amazing poet. I think everyone is always just so enraptured by her imagery, myself included, especially that of nature. She's got her third collection in the works. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage Robin Schofield. What's up, Robin? How you doing?
Hey, Richie. Hey, everybody. Good to be here. I'm going to read some poems about light because it's getting darker every day until the solstice. And they were poems I wrote in the summer a couple of years ago, I think, after I saw an exhibit at MASMOCA, which stands for Massachusetts Museum of Contemporary Art. And it was by this artist named James Turrell. And if you haven't heard of him, you should look him up on the internet. It's Turrell. And he's an artist that works with light. Light is his medium. And it's, I was very taken with it. And he's also bought a crater somewhere in Arizona that he's designing with all these stations where you can view the changing sky. Anyway, these were after seeing the James Turrell exhibit. Self-portrait as light. My eyes are a sea of grass and wildflowers, absorbing all but green and orange wavelengths. Receive this mountain meadow from me. The copper top of the garden fence post scares away the crows in all the darkness, flooding space like a supernova. Water reflects wavy golden lines on the underside of leaves, ripples on the pond of visible wind. What is revealed by 1,000 tadpoles, the gaping turtle, the hoot of an owl, frog chorus answering thunder. Rain quenches my thirsty desert, spears of white and yellow light coming down hard from purple clouds. On sparkling sand as it rushes into the roads and arroyos, how loud the thunderclap, how fast the lightning. Light through the window panes, golden riot of rectangles and lines. Light falls, we say, as though from a celestial turquoise. Vultures dance on an updraft. How far away are their dark feathers in the sunlight? When the wind dies, where do they fold their wings? At home in the desert, my spouse's eyes are of sky and water, blue or transparent, but the sky's color isn't a constant. On the forest floor, spent golden needles, a scarlet surprise, a young salamander made of all wavelengths except scarlet. I cannot say what color the river is, except that it absorbs the cottonwoods, the stones, clouds, and blue pieces of the sky. I rise in the gray dawn before the moment of gloaming. Buttercups bop in the breeze as the slanting sun rays hue the sky violet. Okay, and this one was also written in after I saw that exhibit. And I just want to say that an EFT, is a young salamander that is scar. It's what I just mentioned in that poem. So, light is the medium. Golden spent needle leaves on the floor of the dark hemlock forest. The scarlet eft there, slow-footed, while the speed of light is unfathomable. Green fire moss lit within covers fallen logs, suddenly bereft of light. The velocity of the visible cycles over a razor-thin margin, only a sliver from deep red running to violet hues, perceptible on this pulsing segment of spectrum, spilled blood to blue-handled screwdriver. Energy unfolds a totality, the globe with oceans of crushed opal, or the baseball curving into home plate as light washes and illuminates our world. On emerald gold moss, the young salamander glows, conflating space with light. The lanyard around my neck flashes in the dark hallway, saying my name to all who can see. Silver slivers leak under the doors, my coffee cup of dark reflections, the treasure box of daylight opening. Light makes space into volume in the sculpture garden as the staff wear lanyards that glint in the sun. Everyone's name's a blur in the distance, spaces of infinite depth, but within them, the yellow-green fireflies, the frequency and amplitude of each one of them. Light is a sculptor's putty knife on the white blinds by the jewels of the globe. Filtered light falls on the not quite dark forest floor, the scarlet eft there in the emerald moss under a topaz sky. Let's see. And then I was in England this summer in June, and I wrote this one because Spinoza kept coming up. And so I studied up on Spinoza a little bit. Spinoza's words fail him. So the crow flew too close to the sun and scorched his voice. He croaks and doesn't sing like the melodious blackbird. Old earth, newly green, fields out of which God and his attributes and a hawk rise, sun streaking him. Huge sun, minute globes in the dark forest, proportion and geometry slowly rotates. We also swirl in our madness for axiomatic proofs we don't feel. The title of my essay was Blood in the Garden, Rejecting Duality, the Many and the One, to make sense of the miscarriages. What rational, intelligible order? Except the midges float over the flocks. Their green blood is the logos, God and nature entwined. The newly planted wheat, root and leaf, the two sides, the green man with a mason's face. The material enters the spirit. The green and yellow meadow grounds my metaphysics. I am black blood and white bone, the duality incarnate. Is there a blackbird singing? May I lie fallow for a long while in pantheistic nature. Rain clouds follow me. I have seeds in me. I drop them, numberless as the foxglove. No individual revelations, but I sprout up, grapevines from my right hand. Mathematical methods should yield a pure truth, growing and growing. Everything within God, reaching around a stone column. Huge sun, glowing, looking over the priest's shoulder into his holy book. Deliver me as the crow sees me. Deliver me, sunlit vineyard. Okay, and now I'm going to do a summer cover poem. It's a very popular poem by Mary Oliver called The Summer Day. And really it goes with any season. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? That's it. And let's see, I do have a book that you can, local peeps can pick up at Literary Bookstore. Barnes and Noble won't carry it, but it won a little award from the Border Regional Librarians Association. So it's a nice book, and if you want to get a copy of it, you can also email me if you're out of town. We'll work on postage and stuff like that. And always I promote the Tumblewords Project. Mountain time, 1 to 3 on Saturdays. And probably when Kit comes up, he can tell you the schedule. Yeah, so that's it.
All right, and awesome. And as I often like to say, that wasn't just it, that was everything. Thank you for kicking it off. It's always kind of hard to start it off. So sometimes it's hard being the first person. But yes, check Robin out. Flow, Literary. Shout out to the local bookshops in El Paso, at least. I'm thinking also of Brave Books. If you're ever around, go check them out. Or of course, if you're watching, wherever you're watching from, go support your local bookstores, because we want to keep them running. And of course, write your own poetry books and have them there. That's a great way to support each other. And of course, check out Tumblewords. We're going to go ahead and do some traveling around the country now. And we're going to go from El Paso and go a little northeast, at least for us, and drop by Pittsburgh. And our next performer has a couple of videos they're going to share. And I do want to, well, you know, I'll let them introduce if you want. There's an ASL actor in there from Chicago. And without further ado, though, someone who you can also catch in past episodes. We have a bunch of episodes saved and archived on YouTube. So if you like them, which I know you will, you can go back and catch past readings and performances. But right now, let's welcome to the stage Vale Larkin. What's up, Vale?
Yeah.
Hey, hi.
Hey.
Okay, so I'm going to share a couple of videos. Oh, my camera seems to be a little foggy. There we go. Going to do share a couple of videos today. These are older ones that I did last year, but I just felt like resharing them. A couple of people had asked about them recently. And I will talk a little bit about some upcoming projects afterwards. So. Real quick, this first video is AI generated voice vocals from me. I used to be an opera singer in my misspent youth, and lyrics for this first video.
Once there was a singer, shouting glory to the skies, flying free on currents of harmony, and the vibrations of the scope of life, heard only in the ecstasy of voices joined together, all in concert, all in tune with one another, and no need for any lesser resonance. Once there was a dancer, not the sylph-like sirens that you might imagine, but the raw-bone rage of the prey, casting their snares to capture their tormentors. They have no need for meat. Their ecstatic spinning conjures nourishment, but nearly the same from revenge, as common food.
If a boy said hello, I would hide, trembling so, trembling so. Now I barely know what the meaning of no is.
Once there was an actor, sunk deep in the essence of their obsessions, each new face, every changed gait, the mythology of memory and passion. They sometimes lost themselves in the ebb and flow of manufactured reality. These days were so different.
Past and on existing, what is gold is ornaments. Touch my hand. All the boys turn to men, all the leaves change again, change again, change again. Still I answer yes, though I know what will happen.
There's a violin that's fading. There's a weaving loom collapsing. There are paths untrod and cliffs not climbed, and lace untwisted, concerts missed, and everything that ever was, and never will be ever, ever.
These phases come and go. Music tells me what I need to know.
Now they are. Now they are. Now they are.
Real quick, this next video is with an ASL performer, a deaf actor named Crom Saunders from Chicago, who I work with periodically on these multimedia projects. We've done a couple of things together, and this is one of them. And this is Crom Saunders, and the reader is Josh Lockery.
Quoth the raven, nevermore. Edgar Allan Poe. I shot that fucking bird and ate it 2 nights later, ink not yet dry. I shot that fucking bird right off the head of wisdom herself in all her stony glory. I would not have chosen to consume that rank flesh, so imbued with carrion as to turn the guts inside to outside and contents be damned. All the same, I needed to do it. Of course it's to you I'm speaking, always and inevitably, my phantasmagorical lover, my skeletal siren. The winged fright knew that much, didn't he? Before. I killed that lying messenger, filth and falsehoods on his tongue, as I took aim and grasped and squeezed and recoiled as if in horror or remorse. But that was not it. By forcing down every bite, singing of sixpence and gagging all the while, I have found it. It is mine now, and a harsher comfort than I dreamed. I have discovered words closer to the real, to the vibrating heart of things. I have heard your voice from a distant shore and known it for yours beyond and beneath all shallow appearances. That fucking bird lied to break me, or mock me, or because it was sent there that bleak night by something looming up and blotting out the sky like a parliament in flight. I now know such things exist, but their messengers are frail stuff for all their terrors. I shot that fucking bird and watched it tumble into the very shadow it cast. You are always with me. Entropy is a myth. We are all together, poets, liars, and lost loves, shifting our surfaces from form to form, as my love is the earth, as I will become air and water, and the stone bones of the land, given enough time. As I am now something of the liar, and the raven is myself.
All
And
right.
I'm going to put my info in chat. Coming up, I have, I'm facilitating Tumble Words on the 10th. I have a workshop called Poetry in the Raw, which is about confessional writing. And I have a feature the same night, or that night, the 10th, for Bonk. Look them up on Eventbrite. And for anyone who's interested in donating, the play I wrote is being produced in April, and the theater is fundraising right now. So anyone who would like to contribute to that production can look at the link that I've posted in chat, and that will take you directly, and your donation will go directly to the production of my play specifically, if you donate using that link. So thank you.
All right, and thank you so much. I went ahead and shared those links on YouTube. Thank you, Vale. That was such a dynamic, as always, right? I love those multimedia presentations just because it shows off talent in all sorts of other areas as well. So that's pretty cool. And then you have your link that I did share on YouTube. By the way, shout out to everyone on YouTube right now. It's going pretty well. Anx, Hombre de Chuco, Rihanna, Lucy, Julian, Matthews. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the online open mic. We got a whole bunch of performers still heading up. We just had Michael Sindler join us. What's up, Michael? We missed you. I was getting worried. So we'll get you on the list. I'll message you right now your order, but we're going to go ahead and continue the show. And we're going to go to, this is a new place, Deltona, Florida. Okay. All right. And we got new place, familiar face. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, Nico Kim. What's up, Nico? Go and take it away, man. Good to see you.
Heck yeah. Hey guys. So the only reason I'm in Deltona is visiting friends for Thanksgiving. I go back home on Tuesday, so tomorrow. So I got a song, 3 short poems and a cover poem. I think it'll be short enough. Hey Eddie. I'm on fire and now I think I'm ready to bust a move. Check it out, I'm rocking steady, go. Betty won't stop listening to modern rock. How she hates to be alone. I try to compensate a lack of love with coffee, cake, ice cream, and a bottle of $10 wine. She says, hey, I rock the horror sport. I rock those cowgirl blues. I rock too fast for love. I'm footloose in my Velcro shoes. What's up with Will and Grace? I don't get drum and bass. The future freaks me out. That's Motion City soundtrack. The future freaks me out. And there's a reason why I sang that song, because Je m'en douce en toi. Lost for JKs. Lost in the days, lost in the days. Lazy has been, lazy wannabe. My lawn, a weed away from being in the jungle, while I'm a whim away from singing in it. A whim away, a whim away. A yawn as the singing songbirds wake up my neighbors. I'll wager my morning meetings with the sun are not the same as Jake next door. Wake and bake next snore. I implore myself to do more, yet I snooze more to lose more minutes in a day, another whim away from doing the right thing. Instead, I just might sing, the future freaks me out, because I am on fire, and it should have been time for me to bust my move, like at 2. But I lose my groove as I click snooze, and a few more minutes of dreaming of the Louvre and Paris backdrops. As I had the ability to hit my head on the Eiffel Tower, I can bang my head into a wall, figuring out what step to take next. All journeys start and end with a step. I just get lost sometimes staring at my untrimmed toenails, 2 of which have broken off. This poem's untitled. I wrote it recently. My pat on the back is another's kick in the ass. When I tread lightly, it means I walk with heavy feet while ensuring not to step on toes. But I still step on toes. Stepping on toes goes to show in the throes of chaos, we don't always control our footsteps fall. But all in all, stopping your stride to refrain from causing pain to others is not how we move forward. Stepping on toes leads to steel-toe shoes, since the price of convenience is the sin of comfort. Or stepping on toes leads to broken toes for those who cannot afford the convenience of steel. Or stepping on toes leads to understanding that stepping on toes is a part of walking. I cannot be ashamed for my heavy strides. I'd only be ashamed if I stepped on some toes and didn't apologize to their owner. Because I've come to the circular understanding that sometimes my pat on the back is another's kick in the ass. Last of my poem. And again, I think I just wrote this like 2 days ago. I wrote this from my experiences here in Florida. I look back at my life and it surprises me that I'm still alive. Near-death experiences were my best life lessons. While others say it's the cause of, I'm just gonna restart. I look at my life and it surprises me that I'm still alive. Near-death experiences were my best life lessons, while others says it's the cause of demise. Demise, seeing pain, choose to refrain the same notion, so we strip it from our youth to protect them from chaos. If we don't, we are initiating abuse. Such an obtuse perspective, painted with a brush of comfort. I don't wish chaos on children, but how else can they prepare to confront it if they have no idea what it looks like? And then the cover poem. I think this is like the cover poem I always share, and I don't care. This is How Did You Die by Edmund Vance Cook. Did you tackle that trouble that came your way with a resolute heart and cheerful? Or did you hide your face from the light of day with a craven soul or fearful? Oh, it troubles a ton. Or it troubles an ounce, or a trouble is what you make it. It isn't the fact that you're hurt that counts, only how did you take it? So you're beaten to earth. Well, what's that? Come up with a smiling face. It's nothing against you to fall down flat, but to lie there, that's a disgrace. The harder you're thrown, the higher you bounce. Be proud of that blackened eye. It isn't the fact that you licked that counts, it's how did you fight and why? So you're done to death. Well, what then? If you battled the best you could, if you played your part in the world of men, then the critic will call it good. Death comes with a crawl, or it comes with a pounce. Whether it's slow or spry, it isn't the fact that you're dead that counts. Only, how did you die? Yeah, so I'm getting published in a book from out of Long Island, Paula Torr, the I Can't Breathe Volume 2. It's a student ran magazine out of I can't remember the college, but pardon me. I've got that coming out. And then starting next year, I'm working with Red and Green Books to publish a book. That's all I've got going on. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yo, Nico, always a great time having you here. Appreciate it. And if you have any relevant links to share as well, you can also add that to the chat, and I'll forward that to our peeps on YouTube. Nico Kim, everyone, man, I got some cool Nico stories from the BWOMS days that I can share, but maybe I'll save that for another day. Or maybe the after party. So if you guys are tuning in, this is an online mic. I see a lot of first-time viewers here. Welcome, welcome. We do have a live chat going, so if you want to participate in that, you're more than welcome. If you have any requests, you want to hear any specific poems, you can do that as well. We got lots of awesome performers, plenty left tonight, so there is also still room. So if you have a little bit of courage and want to sign up and read something yourself, you're more than welcome to. We also do welcome music, so if you've play an instrument and want to, try out a new song you've been working on, maybe dust off an old one. Also, if you just want to freestyle, you can do that too. All you have to do is sign up. We do have a link in the description of the YouTube chat. We're going to go ahead and keep going. Next up. Okay, he's here. Okay, cool. And I did announce him here earlier. We're going to go ahead and come back to a little closer to home, and we're going to stop in Denver and say hello to another regular that we have here. He often promotes the Lighthouse Riders, which is, by the way, a great organization. I'll let him introduce them or promote them. But as I always like to say, he's our very own lighthouse. So like when he's missing, I'll admit it's a little darker. So it's great when he's here. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, Michael Sindler. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
It's only because my head revolves around and around. But yes, as far as real lighthouses, yeah, lighthouseriders.org. I cannot recommend highly enough for anybody who wants to improve their craft, no matter what type of writing you're doing, or learning how to deal with publishing, whatever kind of thing. Stuff from youth programs all the way up. Yeah, it is good to get here. I am late because I just went to Target and bought all kinds of stuff that I've been wanting for ages and ages. Actually spent money, which is something that I don't tend to do. I'm going to start with a couple of pieces here. Some people here have heard the story that I miraculously got this notebook sent back to me that some woman had found, and it's from 1982, so it's poems from the late 70s, early 80s, many of which I never thought I would see again, most of which I'd forgotten completely. And within that, there were a few that still sort of held up, so I'm going to share a couple of those with you. And this first one is called You, the Radio, the Ocean, and Me. Folly Beach, South Carolina, February 1948. 1. We can't go down to the water, love. It's still too cold for swimming. Just yesterday, as you listened to the funny clowns and Fibber McGee, I watched fat Canadians waltz through the brine like walruses, and even they soon beached themselves, wrapping in their towels, admitting their mistake. I sketched them in cool, quick strokes, blurry as your sense of time. All the while you sat entranced, a captive to Marconi's secret world. I felt different airwaves, the stinging tide of salty breeze, new clouds with each breath, each cloud a different face, all reflecting the same cold star now set forever behind some far-off iceberg. You see her too, I know. In the dials and in daydreams, cooing softly in your secret language. 2. Let me wipe the cream of carrots off your face. Stop. No, don't wave your spoon that way. No, drink your Ovaltine. No, not like that. You are so beautiful with those long brown chocolate streaks from mouth to middle, down your pink ducky sunsuit, the only one I picked out. What shall we do? I'm learning how to scrub them clean while you sit laughing at the 20 Mule team on the package, listening as always to that radio which never plays the one voice we want to hear. We'll listen though together and perhaps pretend and hold each other at night when the jazz DJ show ends with Berlin's Russian lullaby. 3. I can promise spring will come, even to this eroding empty shore, its heat making studio reek of turpentine all the more, its warm light reflecting off the portraits now forever unfinished. It will make the myrtles bloom. It'll make the myrtles bloom. I'll stick the blossoms in your hair. You don't remember last spring, the 3 of us rowing in the inlet fishing. You laughed and clapped, playing with the fish that flopped helplessly around the boat. And when its fin stuck you, you cried until mommy's kiss made it better. Will my kisses be so medicated? Come here, baby. Hug daddy tight. The air is so, so cold tonight. So that one is 40 years old. And this is another 40-year-old poem. It's called SLR, or Why Japanese Technology Sometimes Brings Me Down. Through apertures unfolding path, your light-formed image enters, at once both pure unhampered light and prism's rainbow splinters. One image falls upon the film, moment resting in its frame. Another flickers in my mind and then is never seen again. My pen and heart together try to explicate this vision so unlike what the camera sees, but with much less precision. And so a breathless scale of grays must simulate your visage until my skill can focus in your glowing spectral image. And I'm going to do something newer. As y'all know, I live in Denver and I'm an hour north of Colorado Springs, so you know what I'm talking about. And listening to Lauren Boebert bloviate afterwards filled me with so much rage that I wrote this, and it's a little tanka called Sandwich. Your thoughts and prayers, artificial cheese slices on a shit sandwich, served with relish of hubris you hope that we will choke on. And that's at least perhaps nicer than she deserves. And I'm going to go ahead and put the hat on, and I had to search for something real quick because, I got on and Richie's like, are you ready to go on? So this is a quick, my old friend Don Van Vliet, my standby, and it's called Grow Fins. Now here you come, baby, with your tail dragging the gravy. You know your P's and Q's. What you don't know, baby, is you're giving me the blues. You got juice on your chin, eggs on the drain board, pie on the wall, dirt on the rug. I come home late and I stumbled and swore you won't even give me a hug. You had my things all laid out by the door. I'm leaving. I'm going to take up with a mermaid, leave you land-loving women alone, leave you land-loving women alone. You said you had it together once, now your head's round the bend. I'm telling you, woman, you better get it back together again. I'm going to grow fins and go back to the water again. If you don't leave me alone, I'm going to take up with a mermaid and leave you land-loving women alone. Leave you land-loving women alone. Now here you come, baby, with your tail dragging the gravy. You know your P's and Q's. What you don't know, woman, you're giving me the blues. I'm going to take up with a mermaid, leave you land-loving women alone. Leave you land-loving women alone. Okay, thank you very much. Ow!
Awesome, man. As always, Mike Sindler, also as he started off his set. Lighthouse Riders. Do you have any events or readings too that you'd like to promote or coming up?
True. Not that I can think of at this moment. Let's hope I don't have anything in the next week, or I'll be in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, the only thing I have is a lighthouse thing, but that is in person here in Denver. So if anybody is here in Denver and wants to go to something very special, it's the release of our new anthology. And once it's out, I can maybe give y'all info for buying it, but I don't have that yet. Thank y'all very much. Sorry I missed so much of it already, but I look forward to hearing everybody else.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I'm glad you made it. Like I said, I even get concerned when you're signed up and don't make it. I'm like, oh no, I hope everything's all right. So it's always a release. Like, all right, he's here. Cool. Yeah, man, venturing out too. You know, I know you don't do it as often, so glad you're back. All right, we're gonna travel to Texas for the next several performers. Like I said, we are based out of El Paso, Texas, but because this is online, we're gonna be traveling all over the place. In fact, yeah, I mean, it's cool. I can't wait to show you guys where everyone's coming in from. But we're gonna go ahead and come to El Paso, Texas for a little bit. And next up we have Alan Martinez, who's gonna share some pieces. He read something really quick last week. All right, Alan, how you doing? What's up?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you, Richie. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this first one is going to be an ode to my friends. These are just some stuff that I had for a while, but this is what I'm going to be presenting tonight. So an ode to my friends. My friends are some of the coolest people I've ever met. We know each other like this, and what do they say always manages to get in my head. I know they only tell me these things because they love me, and it's okay to have a big head. But when their words don't match their actions, it just leaves me reeling again. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my friends. I just wonder how their lives are doing and when the next chapter of their lives will begin. I wonder if they also get tired of being cooped up in the house that's too small for their bodies like guinea pigs, or if they're more adept at following and pretending to have hobbies that don't include salvaging relationships. I wonder if they smoke sativa or indica, or if they've been as horny as I've been. I wonder if their eyes got glossed over whenever they take another hit of a pen. I wonder if they have those odd coincidences, like when you think about something and then you see it being advertised right in front of your face and you're like, wow, I literally just thought of this. Like, I imagine that's the case because it's a common human experience. I wonder if my friends talk to other friends, or some people are more adept at their loneliness. If loneliness is even a thing, because if you don't have friends, you have family. And from what I've been told, that's really all you need. So then why do friends go so long without talking? And if talking is even a thing, why do some friends fall off the grid with other friends? It's probably because they lack the energy. And from one friend to another, I don't have any biological brothers, but I do have some bros who are family. And if family is all you need, then you should try sleeping in late on a Saturday after you've ate out happily, because that shit right there is enough to make somebody breathe a sigh of relief. I don't see my friends as often as I used to. And when I used to, I could hardly even see. But when we do get together, our plans change like the weather, and it always feels like we're talking about other friends and family who we haven't really seen. Or take me back to the old days when we were allowed to be stupid and obscene. No, all reality gives us is some poetic methods in which it feels like friendships are like the land meeting the sea, always there and always brushing up on me. And strictly between friends, I'd let you know if you were getting on my nerves and if you were acting stupidly. But don't take it personally, because sometimes you got to be stupid, because as humans, we don't know everything. But if my knowledge is the sum of all these things, let me tell you from one friend to another that the sauce is forever and the juice is only temporary. That was that one. And then now this one is a second one that I wrote. This one's untitled as well. Poetry's back in session. It's been a minute since my last confession, but based on my current profession, I'm back in school and I have to teach those and myself a new lesson. In helping others to get to where they're going, I mastered the art of being a lethal weapon. I would go out of my way for an instant mention, but now that I'm there and back again, I'm relearning English and still don't know the true meaning of the declension. It's like the more I think, the less I know. Perhaps the internet was all for show, and now that the poets are back in class, nobody really wants to write or talk anymore. Almost as if a new season in the dialogue needs to be written because people can't make heads or tails of the old prose. And so, from the concrete grew a rose. See, I didn't actually write that line. I'm just paying homage to it, though. Because what has already been said is probably something that people already know. A gentle rehashing, new music fit for line dance, and even more noise over the speakers for the ears that are bleeding from being pierced far too often with rusty instruments. There's more to writing than just this. It takes living and throwing yourself at a wall again and again before you realize that maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should stop my drinking. Maybe I should stop the smoking. Maybe this is just my process. Or maybe the pain that I've already forgotten is just my attempt at getting another hit. If love is the strongest drug, then y'all clearly haven't tried heroin. I mean, neither have I. I've just heard from a friend whose rap career took off before even it was allowed to begin. And now that I'm back in the off season, I went on world tours and took flights to places I haven't even stepped foot in. Some people were in Miami, and as nice as that must be, I've been in the city of sin where the losers always win, and I've confused it for the city that don't sleep. It's been like 6 fucking weeks, and I'm getting tired of this jungle made of concrete and charging the lights as I amble mechanically along these dirty, ridden trash streets. I've been hungry for so long that even the rats are looking like a feast. But between you and me, it's all a matter of perspective. When I haven't been helping other people, I feel better than when I was with them. I helped sweep the city and was a part of venues and causes that have been allowed to grow. And now that the nights are over or beginning, new avenues of prosperity have been allowed to show. It's all a matter of perspective. And if you're willing to go down that rabbit hole, because if you're from where I'm from, you're from where the sun don't shine and the weeds don't grow. If you're from where I'm from, then I must be from where the vines intertwine and the leaves have snow. This ain't no Piccadilly, bro. This is the hardened shell of a native bongo made from armadillo. These are the boots of a Quaker from an imported Italian tailor whose specialty is special needs, and I'm all out of paper. I got some pretty fancy socks too. But that's not important as knowing that my back to school shoppings made me realize how little I needed my final year of class. I took quantum mechanics, that class was ass. Got 3 Bs, all in math. English courses, barely passed. History lessons, ain't no time for that. Orchestra, that shit was cash. I'm just looking forward to when that final bell rings and ends the day. Grab my cheap sack lunch and go out to play, because yesterday was raining, today is quite the day. I should have never been a poet, but that's just what I like to say. I don't know, you tell me. Today's my first day of pre-K. And then this one is like my final one for the night. I need to write one more poem, but one more poem's too long. I could have ended my tenure with bell horns and swan songs, but I've been questing for so long that even monkfish have grown accustomed to me. That's a nerdy line, but if you catch it, then you're already better than me. I know that perhaps the last mention of something that is quite of this world, that is quite of this world, is just something I saw regularly. That poems are meant to be poems, and all my journal entries are something I've grown tired of writing. There's only so many ways to say how good your day's been before having to bite down and swallow the hard truth. There's only so many lines that start with I and end with maybe that have left me thinking that maybe I should have really written that book. Oftentimes it's just me staring at a screen until the page turns blue, and I start spewing out words that are just out of view, and I find myself writing again. But not poetry. It never turns out like poetry. It always turns out like a swan song that I never grew tired of writing. It sounds like bugles at the end of ancient trumpet scene, and the carriages are riding in to meet with Hell's Army. And even then, it doesn't sound like poetry. It sounds like antidepressants pressed together, forming collagen to clog up my McDonald's arteries. I just keep bleeding. See, that's for the real writers. That's for the real poets who keep me thinking that maybe I should write a book, that maybe I should fill it with more lines of poetry that aren't as good as these, but will be someday. I just know that I'd rather write poetry than read it. I'd rather pretend I'm a writer for a little bit longer so I don't have to read another book. I'd much rather remind myself of why I'm struggling with poetry when it's everywhere I look. I just never got into that point yet. Always writing, but never poetry, just something better. And then that's it. Thank you guys.
Damn, you caught me off guard, man. I was writing dope in the comments and I couldn't switch cameras. Alan, thank you so much, man. If you have any links, social media that you want me to pass on to our YouTube peeps, go ahead and leave it there and I'll do that. Yeah, those were awesome pieces, man. Thank you. I'm glad you read those. Keep bleeding, man. Keep bleeding. Cheers to the process. All right, we're gonna stick around in El Paso. Next up, we have a man of many nicknames, except it's not Nick. That's another man of nicknames, and his name is literally Nick. But this guy's our BWOMS bouncer. He's been here since day one. He also fills in and co-hosts from time to time on this show. Let's go ahead and welcome Kit Wren back to the stage, Mr. Monday Night. What up, Kit?
Thank you, Richie. It's good to relax a little bit, be at the back of house again after a couple weeks in front of all you smiling people. Not that I don't like you smiling people, but you make me nervous sometimes because you smile too much. Ain't a goddamn thing fun. Okay, 3 of mine in the cover, which I've been going back and forth about what to read, but we'll find out what I read together. But that's later. I have tried to wish myself into the regal crouch of the tiger. I have wanted to see in my footprints the cunning and forethought of the coyote. A coincidence of nomenclature allows me to claim the beaver and its single-minded industriousness towards a structure that only it can use. I see birds walking across the street and think, I could do better. I asked the Tigwa elder what animal was in my heart, and he said, this is a gas station. Please pay for your Powerade and get the fuck out of Running Bear. The world is not what it was, and you will not bring it back by finding it charming. You see, the humans are animals too, the only ones who choose whether to flatten or file their teeth. And this one's a crowd favorite. Even the people it's about like it. The comedians have renounced raunch and transphobia and hatred in general. They have seen their folly, they tell me. They credit me for their Damascene moment. They line up and say sorry and thank you as if it is all one word, a chant for newly shaved Hare Krishnas. They have set up this event, the first of its kind post-pandemic, to prove their sincerity to me. One approaches the mic, and then another. They are all reading aloud from the same worn copy of Capitalism and Schizophrenia by Giles Deleuze. They pass the one copy between themselves as they all take their turn, going for exactly 7 minutes each. It has a used tag from a college bookstore, University of Vermont. Charlie the Catamount is just barely smiling at me from the crinkled sticker on the spine. Their faces as they perform are intense, and as the others sit and watch, they are rapt. One is taking notes. My companion and I retreat to the patio, and by his leave, I smoke my first cigarette in 4 years. One by one, the comedians follow me out, eager and pleading, like seminary students. Is this better? Are we better now, kid? Have we made up for our sins and our wayward lives? The truth is, I don't know. The truth is, I thought I would always have to fight the comedians for saying one awful thing or another. I viewed it as a responsibility that I had to deceive. And the truth is, I have a middle management bred paranoia about what it means when a responsibility gets taken away. The truth is, I liked fighting against the comedians so much that I never gave a thought to what victory would look like. The truth is, I confess to the one with the notebook, I haven't read very much theory. And last one of mine, then we'll get to the cover poem. The I of the poem is not I, but he often resembles me. The I of the poem speaks in my diction and preoccupies himself with my concerns. I do not know if this makes him my employee or my son. Or maybe a plant sprouted from a trimming. When they complain about their circumstances, I do not know if they do so with the helpless wail of a skinned knee or the veiled threat of unionization. When they fail in front of a live audience, sometimes I am vengeful and protective like a mother bear. Other times I am disappointed and grim and inform them that they have been reassigned. In a couple cases, let go altogether. A lovelorn I has requested a meeting. He is much more handsome than me, which makes his lovelornness inexplicable and cruel and artistically interesting. His first demand is just the word unfair in all capital letters. He is tired of being the Greek on the urn Keats saw, chasing and not catching, drinking and never drunk. He notes that I have no other poems in this emotional register. This is also unfair. This is too much pressure. And anyway, he thought I hated Keats. I love Keats. I don't know where he got that from. Wordsworth is the one I hate. He wants a better ending. Poems never end, I say. And he shrieks in frustration. Not another damn koan. I just want some fucking say in the things that I am supposed to have done. It sounds reasonable. Plenty of actual people have the same complaint. This is supposed to be about them in the end, right? Not us. A poem isn't a way around or out of life. I lecture the lovelorn one. I put a fatherly hand on his shoulder. He doesn't like it, but he's too weak to shrug it off. It has to be weathered, just like everything else. I shove him towards the door. He leaves, as miserable as he's ever looked. And I created him to be miserable. The eyes of my poems are talking amongst themselves. They are restless and stubborn. They are not staying within their lines and themes. They are comparing salaries. I do not know if they are my employees or my children, but they are definitely not plants. And both fathers and bosses know that the revolution always comes. And yeah, for the cover poem, I'm gonna go a little off the beaten path. The USA trilogy by John Dos Passos, he has littered among his very, very idiosyncratic book, little biographical poems of historical figures. And this is one of those, but this is Emperor of the Caribbean by John Dos Passos, about the founding of the United Fruit Company. When Minor C. Keith died, all the newspapers carried his picture, a bright-eyed man with a hawk nose and a respectable bay window and an uneasy look under the eyes. Minor C. Keith was a rich man's son, born in a family that liked the smell of money. They could smell money halfway around the globe in that family. His uncle was Henry Meigs, the Don Enrique of the West Coast. His father had a big lumber business and handled real estate in Brooklyn. Young Keith was a chip off the old block. Back in '49, Don Enrique had been drawn to San Francisco by the gold rush. He didn't go prospecting in the hills. He didn't die of thirst sifting alkali dust in Death Valley. He sold outfits to the other guys. He stayed in San Francisco and played politics and high finance until he got in too deep and had to get aboard ship in a hurry. The vessel took him to Chile. He could smell money in Chile. He was the capitalista Yankee. He built the railroad from Santiago de Valparaiso. There were guano deposits on the Chincha Islands. Meigs could smell money in guano. He dug himself a fortune out of guano, became a power on the West Coast, juggled figures, railroads, armies, the politics of the local caciques and politicos. They were all chips in a huge poker game. Behind a big hand, he heaped up the dollars. He financed the unbelievable Andean railroads. When Tomás Guardia got to be dictator of Costa Rica, he wrote to Don Enrique to build him a railroad. Meigs was busy in the Andes. The $75,000 contract was hardly worth his while. So he sent for his nephew, Minor Keith. They didn't let grass grow under their feet in that family. At 16, Minor Keith had been on his own, selling collars and ties in a clothing store. After that, he was a lumber surveyor and ran a lumber business. When his father bought Padre Island off Corpus Christi, Texas, he sent Minor down to make money out of it. Minor Keith started raising cattle on Padre Island and singing for fish. But cattle and fish didn't turn over money fast enough. So he bought hogs, and chopped up the steers and boiled the meat, fed it to the hogs, and chopped up the fish and fed it to the hogs. But hogs didn't turn over money fast enough. So he was glad to be off the Limon. Limon was one of the worst pest holes on the Caribbean. Even the Indians died there of malaria, yellowjack, dysentery. Keith went back up to New Orleans on the steamer John G. Meigs to hire workers to build the railroad. He offered $1 a day and grub and hired 700 men. Some of them had been down before in the filibustering days of William Walker. Of that bunch, about 25 came out alive. The rest left their whiskey-scalded carcasses to rot in the swamps. On another load, he shipped down 1,500. They all died to prove that only Jamaicans could live in Limon. Miner Keith didn't die. In 1882, there were 20 miles of railroad built, and Keith was $1 million in the hole. The railroad had nothing to haul. Keith made them plant bananas so that the railroad might have something to haul. To market the bananas, he had to go into the shipping business. This was the beginning of the Caribbean fruit trade. All the while, the workers died of whiskey, malaria, yellowjack, dysentery. Miner Keith's 3 brothers died. Miner Keith didn't die. He built railroads, opened retail stores up and down the coast in Bluefields, Belize, Limon, bought and sold rubber, vanilla, tortoiseshell, sarsaparilla. Anything he could buy cheap, he bought. Anything he could sell dear, he sold. In 1898, in cooperation with the Boston Fruit Company, he formed a United Fruit Company that has since become one of the most powerful industrial units in the world. In 1912, he incorporated the International Railroads of Central America, all of it built out of bananas. In Europe and the United States, people had started to eat bananas. So they cut down the jungles through Central America to plant bananas and built railroads to haul the bananas. And every year, more steamboats with the Great White Fleet steamed north loaded with bananas. And that is the history of the American Empire in the Caribbean and the Panama Canal and the future Nicaragua Canal and the Marines and the battleships and the bayonets. Why that uneasy look under the eyes? In the picture of Miner C. Keith, the pioneer of the fruit trade, the railroad builder, in all the pictures the newspapers carried of him when he died.
Awesome. Thank you, Kit Ren, everyone. Always rocking his unique t-shirts as well. So you want to do the song and dance? Go for it, man.
Can't find my little paper, but Instagram at Kit Ren Away, Twitter at Kit Talk Sports, Gofi.com/Kit Ren. It's where the long form essays about football are. Tumblewords. December 3rd, Chris Kalia up in Vancouver will be hosting. They'll have a workshop based on some works by Victoria Chain. I'm really looking forward to that one. The 10th, as they already mentioned, Vale Larkin has something very ambitious planned called Poetry in the Raw. And on the 17th, the last workshop of the year, we will pay tribute to our departed founder, Donna Snyder, with Writing from the Dark Time. And that's all I have on my end. Back to you.
All right, appreciate it. How'd that feel? Did I feel a little Dan-like, getting it back, sending it back my way? Going to go back to me so I can introduce the next poet, right? Kit Ren, everyone, go and follow him online. Check out Tumblewords. So I know there are a lot of students watching right now, and if you guys are maybe shy about your writing or maybe don't have a whole lot written but want to write, Tumblewords and Lighthouse Writers, a lot of people are mentioning workshop spaces. That's one way, if you're gonna get better at anything, you just kind of have to do it, right? And so Tumblewords is generative writing. So essentially it's kind of, you write something there on the spot and then you just read what you wrote. It's as simple as that. There's some little rules here and there and conventions, but you'll pick it up along the way. But I highly recommend it because I know, and I always tell my students, even if it's not a creative writing class, everyone has something to say. Everyone has something meaningful, worthwhile, and it's your own thing, but it's a great way to connect with people. So if you're ever considering it, check out Tumblewords. Saturdays, you can also look up Tumblewords Project on Facebook to be kept up to date with all the upcoming workshops in the upcoming years. Alrighty then. So we're going to stick around in Texas, but we're going to head to Levelland. And, the poet T.S. Eliot once wrote, I'll show you fear in a handful of dust. What about lungs? I don't know. Let's find out. Next up, we have our next poet, Lungs of Dust. What's going on? Welcome back, Arlette. Good to see you.
Hey, Richie. Thank you. Hey, guys. All right, so I'm going to read 3 things today. One of them is going to be from me, my first one. And my second one, I totally would have read it last week. It is a piece from my friend. His name is Adrian, and he's kind of like my writing mentor. My cat has completely left me alone up until 3 minutes ago. She just started jumping on me, so I'm sorry, guys. All right, so my first one, it's kind of untitled, and usually if I leave something untitled, the first line just kind of ends up being, the title. All right, so here we go. There were these things that happened years ago. Could I have dreamt them, the nightmares of reality, shipwrecked in the Dead Sea, its salty waves closing in on me? Some say there's no escaping love. It's destined in your blood, a sprouting flower bud, the beauty of its growth, the unbreakable oath. But a woman now knows that it grows in black thorns, and far off in the distance it warns, like smoke signals, for the weak, the nightmares I seek. That it mocks you by bringing the love you so crave and seeing just how brave a woman's heart can be. There's no escaping the wreckage of love when you're all the above, creating dreams into nightmares and forgetting your prayers. And always remember, caressing thorns pierces hearts into doom and never lets a flower bloom. So there's that one. My second one, all of these kind of go on theme for some weird reason. So my second one, it's a pretty tiny piece. Once again, it's from my friend Adrian. He's like, we've been friends for like 19 years now, I think. And yeah, we always just kind of confide in each other with like poetry and writing, and it's just great. So this is from him. He wrote it years ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. All right. Becoming something small, but only at first, only before the rain, before the spring, during days when you can smell the soil from which we rose from and feel the sun flowing into our fingertips when we bloom. So there's that one. That one's from my friend Adrian. And my last one, actually, just to keep on going with the theme with Veil, I actually have a Edgar Allan Poe one too. This one's called A Dream. All right. In visions of the dark night, I have dreamed of joy departed, but a waking dream of life and light hath left me brokenhearted. What is not a dream by day to him whose eyes are cast on things around him with array, turn black upon the past. That holy dream, while all the world were chiding, hath cheered me as a lovely beam, a lonely spirit guiding. What though that light through storm and night so trembled from afar, what could there be more purely bright in truth's day star? So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Lungs of Dust, Arlette. Yo, are you gonna link that to Adrian so you can see those and you listen to them?
Well, okay, so he watched my first one because I sent him the link, and then I sent him the one from the like 2 weeks ago when I was on, and he was like, dude, I'll watch it, and he hasn't. So I'm just gonna leave this here. I'm gonna leave this here and see if he'll find it. Hidden
treasure, you know what I'm saying? Awesome. Adrian,
but he's
hopefully
still the homie, like he still reads all my stuff,
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's great. Do you have anywhere, like, so if people want to follow you online, do you have anywhere that they can do so, or?
I'm just on Instagram. It's just Lungs of Dust. It's my personal one. I mention that all the time, but every once in a while, I've been learning how to play music this year. So every once in a while, kind of like give glimpses of me playing my bass, and just me hanging out, posting pictures, mostly film. I take a lot of film photos, so I have a bunch of from El Paso, so there's a bunch of stuff in there.
Yes, awesome, cool. Well, you gotta let us know when you plan on coming back too, so we can do and stuff.
I'll be there soon, I swear. And cool. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Arlette, aka Lungs of Dust. Yeah, you know what? You got that photographer's eye. That it's a great skill to also translate into like imagery and poetry. You know, I saw that sunflower imagery in the second piece. That was
Oh,
nice.
thanks, buddy.
Cool. Yeah, glad you can join us as always. You know, we welcome everyone. And every guest we have on here is special. But sometimes we have like another special type of guest when it's really fun to introduce someone who hosts their own space as well. So some of you may be familiar, and something that I love about these online spaces is that there's so much more. We have like we're all connected with these threads, and so there's a really cool spider web of connection. And our next performer hosts the Garage Poets open mic on Zoom. I believe Kit Wren was featured there somewhat recently. And yeah, it's always just great to introduce another host. So joining us from Massachusetts, let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, Jeff Taylor. What's going on, Jeff? Good to have you.
Thanks, Richie. Good to be here. Yes, yeah. Check out the Garage Poets every Friday, 8 to 10. And if you check out at the Garage Poets, any of the social media, you'll be able to get the links for that. I got a couple poems of my own. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Cool. I got a couple poems of my own, and I'll do a cover as well. I do believe that as the tradition, as Kit laid it out to me. So this first poem, this is the anniversary of my friend's death. My friend Mark, he took his own life in 2007 today, so I'm going to read this poem for him, but the poem is about Kurt Cobain. When I posted about it being the anniversary of Kurt Cobain's suicide, Sean commented Ben and Jerry's gave out free cones on Jerry Garcia's death anniversary. I wonder if that means Purdue Pharma will give out free opiates. Do doctors remember the first poor person they said was lying, but charged anyway? Which came first, the rock star or the street kid? The shotgun or the needle? On the road home from Aberdeen, all our arms taste like scars. Yeah, that one's called Left a Hole. I got another one that I'll do. This one is called Arguing with Sushi. Well, arguing with myself over sushi, sorry. Standing in line for buffet sushi when an adult-looking version of my adolescent self emerges from the body of my current self, scornfully asking if I've lost myself, causing me to crumble my fish roe into a tray of tuna roll. I think about telling the unburdened version of myself a defeated man can bleed enough to change the world. Instead, I relay what I learned about love after a poorly crafted double date. Love lies at the intersection of science and art. When the integers and perspectives have been mapped, you may end up marrying the woman who is currently trying to bang your roommate. But if you keep your compass pointed north, there is reason to believe you can be more than the life the universe delivered you into. Considering your devotion to myth, I surmise philosophizing with you would be like the relationship between masturbating at Thomas Paine's funeral and a tree falling in the woods. If there's no one around to debate the metrics of morality, then who's gonna fucking say anything? Stricken with a sense of superiority, I assert the high ground, drawing a dick vacation land across the pimpled grill of my immaturity. Water skiing dicks cutting the wake, dick golfers fighting sand traps, volleyball dicks spiking the line. Consumed by the desire to outgrow the limits of my vocabulary, Instant karma taking agency from the theoretical form of alien limb syndrome, still not having realized I am using the same words, just holding a different flashlight. My younger self reverse directions, taking the marker from my now self, drawing havoc causing dicks across the goofy man face of my maturity. Dick pilots bombing the intersections of my perfectly creased brow. Pirate dicks pillaging the astute fields of my engaging cheekbones. Dick ninjas descending the cracked lines of my auspicious nose. As my immature self retaliates, drawing dicks on my current self, the dick drawings appeared on my immaturity. The outward expression of my inner moral argument, layered with dead fish and avocado, intertwined in an argument, finding common ground in the unsympathetic language of dick jokes, confident that even though superheroes make better sandwiches than people, there is no way to tell the difference between buffet sushi and enlightenment without being willing to get covered in dick drawings and fish. And that is arguing with myself over sushi.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Did you want to talk about your stuff, social media handles and stuff, or where people can check you out and your event?
Oh yeah, just at the Garage Poets. You can check me out. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, on YouTube. Whichever social media platform you prefer, you can probably find me at the Garage Poets.
Awesome. Glad you could make it, Jeff. I really love some of those lines there, man. That imagery is wild.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Cool. Appreciate it. Glad you can make it. All right. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, check out the Garage Poets. I think we're already following you on YouTube, but I'll double check right now. Shout out to everyone on YouTube, by the way. I saw Nico was there. I think he's back here now. Also Amanda Wilson. Man, Amanda, it's been so long. Amanda used to come and read all the time. We have Midnight hanging out in the Zoom call. If you want to read Midnight, let me know in the chat so I can add you. If not, that's cool. Sometimes we're just hanging out and supporting. You know, Estefania was supporting here earlier. We had Christine Ponce Diaz sitting and listening in as well. She's an awesome musician. So, you know, it takes all of us here. And in fact, we're going to welcome someone new to this space. I'm sure they're not new to performing and reading. We're going to go to Brooklyn and welcome to the stage MJ Blackwell. We got MJ in the house. What's up? How you doing?
Hey
Welcome.
there.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Where to start? Let's see. There's so much amazing talent in this room. It feels a little, I feel a little fluttery. I have a few, let's see, which direction? There's a few directions I could go with this. You know what? Let's just jump into something. I'll jump into a poem that I did that I wrote last month that felt a little interesting. The poem is called An October Poem. A cauldron of sea moss, lentils, and cauliflower stew over the fire. An orange October, bobbing for self-expression like apples. Dried blood crusting over my dreams, salted cheeks, salted tears, spooky art in autumn nights, cold tombstones and empty existence, rustling leaves and anxious thoughts, black cats, candy corn, and the ghost of my full potential, magic words and open palms, cobwebs and creativity, opened dreams and open mics, coffins, writing prompts and rawness, a dropped bag of happiness, the lost and found with my name on it. I'm dressed as fear and apprehension for Halloween. Graveyards are undeserving of my dreams. So that's the first piece. And the second piece, This one is called White Hot. Above troglodytes and cumulus clouds, you exist, my friend. A happening worthy of interest. You are proof of source, mattering while being matter, fragmented and stellar. You are a verb, that's what's happening. Phenomena amongst phenomena, exploring, glowing, pivoting, lighten that path. Look at you, bright, radiant, fiery, worthy of wonder, with or without common approval, present, provocative, curious. I'm curious, capable, ascending, being, white, hot, glorious you. In peace. I got one more. This one sits a little close to my heart. This is short. I'm resting now. I'm letting go of what I'm supposed to be doing for a living, where I'm supposed to be at this age, what I should have accomplished according to the collective. I'm resting now. I'm becoming a better writer, poet, vegan, artful expressionist, singer, friend, spiritually connected being, blessing from source. I'm resting now. Calm, but there's movement below. And resting, I'll touch heart spaces with other healers, and we'll rest together and build a collective. I'm resting right now, similar to yeast in action, quietly expanding, rising, moving from one state of being to the next. I'm resting now. In peace. Thank you.
Some MJ. Do you have any books, any social media, YouTube, any that you want to promote right now?
So social media, you can catch me on social media. Look at my little makeshift sign. I don't know if you can see it. It's Nightclub Girl, NITE Club Girl, and that's me on IG. I will be doing some stuff soon, but I'm kind of super quiet right now. You see boxes because I'm actually in the process of moving. So there'll be some stuff coming up soon. But yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you so much. Glad you could be here in this space, and you're always welcome back. You know, anyone is. You know, loved it. MJ, thank you, and always good to have Brooklyn in the house for sure. Let's see, where are we? Oh yes, okay. So someone was signed up earlier, and they made it. So I'm gonna throw them on. Coming from parts unknown, I'm gonna read their bio though. A poetess. An artist touching hearts with relatable poetry. Welcome to the stage here to the BWOMS open mic. Let's welcome Drisha. What's going on? And also, how would I say that? Drisha?
Yeah, Drisha, you're pronouncing it right.
Cool, welcome.
I'm glad I could make it. I thought I wouldn't be able to because of some commitments, but I'm glad I'm here. So, just for my intro, I'm just a young poetess touching your hearts with relatable poetry. Yes, of course. So the poetry that I'm going to narrate today, it's a self-composed poetry, and it's called The Monster Within. So let me just start with it without taking much time. All my fears are coming back to me, but is it true, or is this just a dream? The monster within me won't let me sleep, and its presence makes it even harder to breathe. Never really thought this day would come, which would destroy my life and make me so numb. And now the sky is black, my face is pale, I lack insanity, and yes, I'm full of pain. You know, it's scary to fight this creature, knowing it is ruining every bit of my future. All my efforts have turned into vain. All my efforts have turned into vain, never missing any chance to be miserable and filled in pain. Now the chances to change are close to none. No matter how much I try, I just cannot overcome. The rays of hope slowly fade away in the dark. The rays of hope slowly fade away in the dark. Paralyzed with fear, I cannot move or even talk. This is the despair that surrounds me, makes me blind, with all the fog of sorrow, sadness, and wine. All these fears are destroying me. All these fears are destroying me. But one thing about it is all the misery. It isn't eternal suffering. It is a pain to the heart. It is an internal suffering. It is a pain to the heart. And to feel it every day is just not a spark. It's a suffering now which is endless to the core. And I completely fail to imagine how to overcome this and someday maybe encore. I always thought it couldn't hurt me enough. But now it feels so wrong to be in such a mess. My life is messed up for the fear I created, and my whole world fallen apart is now just my fate, just my fate. It's eating me up, killing me slow. Nothing, trust me, just nothing can save me from this endless bore. It has made me hollow like a void, and there's nothing I can fill it with or even avoid. I'm trapped now in the world of dark. I'm trapped now in the world of dark, where there is no savior nor any light to spark. Who really thought this day would come? Who really thought this day would come? So morose, so dull, where all you can do is either try or give it a futile run. But the darkness within me that I could not see has now become my worst enemy. It's like my nightmares have come into life, and to forget all this is all I strive, and to forget all this is all I strive. Thank you. So that was my, I hope you like my poetry.
I did. You weren't kidding about the relatability. Hopefully you're doing well. Do you have?
We all are. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Do you have any places where anyone can support your poetry or your poetic journey?
Yeah, sure. I'm. You can catch me on Instagram and LinkedIn. I'll just drop it in the chat box.
Sure. Awesome. Cool. And I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't know if you had any others. I was just.
Yeah. No. I was just describing the vibe around here. That it's so warm, and to narrate poetry, it becomes even better. So very glad to come here and be able to read my poetry.
Awesome. Cool. Well, you are more than welcome back. We'd love to see you next week if you don't mind. Anyway.
Looking forward.
Cool. Thank you so much, Trisha. Glad to have you. Awesome.
Thank you.
And share that link, and we'll get you. We'll share that as well. And always love to see people on their journey. Alrighty then. We're gonna go ahead and go to Malaysia, and he's been killing it with the multimedia and his presentations. So I expect some more. Here's the thing, though. You keep raising the bar, and so you keep having to go back to it. So we have next up on the mic Julian Matthews. What's going on, Julian? Good to see you, man.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to share screen. The 3 short ones. Oh, what's going on here? I see living people dead inside. It's hard to cement relationships in a concrete jungle. Everyone is so set in their ways. But if you peer through their cracks beyond the fake facades, pretty glazed eyes, ever-changing hair color, you find alleys in the alleyways, buddies in burnt-out shelters, creatives among the crevices, behind the rusty metal door, up the tattooed staircase where all the wrong turns led to this right one. It took a while to find my tribe, but they were here all along, within the fault lines of our fissured minds. Thank you. Lost and find. Every night it's a red pill versus blue pill situation, and I take the red pill and I go down the rabbit hole. I'm a white rabbit without a watch, going down a maze with no exits. I'm Alice, I'm Chuang-Chi's butterfly. I'm Kafka's insects. I'm a cockroach. Deeper and deeper it goes. I'm the undead. I cannot even remember what or where or when or why, only how it began. Insomnia, thy name is Google. The interwebs really is a series of YouTubes, and I'm a spider crawling in its belly, awaiting Godot or God or Rod Serling. It's the Twilight Zone meets the Matrix meets Groundhog Day, and the hole in my heart is a labyrinth of hollow denials and wrong turns, an echo chamber of loveless lava eruptions, a growing cavern of broken promises and shattered mirrors and sorrows and tomorrows and tomorrows and tomorrows and the horrors of it all. And I step barefoot on all of life's glass shards because you are still nowhere to be found. Thank you. And the last one is called Sky Tears for Gary. On days that it rains, I like the way the leaves glisten and shine, the way the grass turns greener as if in envy, the way the river gurgles as if chuckling to an off-colored joke. Even fallen leaves don a new sheen. Sometimes caught up in the runoff to an unknown final destination, I spot one bright yellow leaf floating joyously on a stream of sky tears, its upraised stalk shaking like a tiny, defiant fist. That's how I'd like to imagine you left us on a last great expedition with typical can-do candor, gutsy, fearless, slightly tipsy, your way, your style, no risk, no gain, no more pain, no more pain. Thank you.
All right. Hey, thank you, Julian. Love those pieces. I love the reading of it too. And of course, how can people follow you online? Oh no, you're sinking away. Oh no, you're still here. Okay. Yeah. How can people follow and support you online?
Put it in the chat. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Put it in the chat. Hey, that reminds me of Midnight Show. Alrighty then. Next up, we're going to come back to the US, and we're going to go to the capital, Washington, D.C., where we have the one, the only. Oh, you already know him, Mr. Ed, Poetastic. Ed, what's up?
What's up, my brother? Like no other with words of thunder. Thank you
Awesome.
for burning the bornness right under. Woo! Hello, my name is Ed Potastico, Aaron feeling fantastic. Please get time to enjoy my rhyme for Office Sublime. I got 2 pieces, so you know they're gonna rhyme. Actually, I got jokes. Hope everyone got some jokes for you folks. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Neither. It was the rooster. Why was the toilet so embarrassed? He flushed too early. Mac loved grilled cheese. What was his nickname? Mac and Cheese. What was the pig's night name? Sir Oinsalot. Why was Frosty screaming in pain? Had freezer burn. Why did the lion call the cops? He wanted to say he was in Great Maine of a big mauled. And last but not least, what did the pig told his wife? Okay, honey, I'll bring home the bacon. All right, hope everyone enjoyed the jokes. I got 3 pieces. The first piece is called Drunken Fish. Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay. I'm not big on social graces. Think I'll slip on down to the oasis. Oh, I got friends in low places. Please drink responsibly before you hurt your man or sweetie. Please don't get pulled up by a roaring hangover. Please know your limit before your reality hits. This is called the drunken fish. A cup of Henny to make me sing like Whitney. A cup of wine to make me feel fine. A cup of beer to put me into joyful tears. A cup of Guinness to put me in a stage of bliss. A cup of Blue Moon to turn me into a balloon. A cup of Bud Light to make me feel all right. A glass of Martino to make me feel like Bond, sweetie. A cup of Pina Colada to make me feel the beach drama. A glass of Grasshopper to make me feel like a show starter. A cup of Bloody Mary to make me feel like Dracula and scary. A cup of lager to make me feel a bit hotter. A cup of ale to make me straighten my sail. A cup of Sammy Adams to, that was random. A cup of porter to make me feel in order. A cup of strout to make me hungry for trout. A cup of mead to make me loose like weed. A cup of Angry Orchard to tell me put 1 foot forward. A cup of Corona to make me sing my Sharona. A cup of Budweiser to make me get much higher. A cup of Tostuckies to make me feel at ease. If you don't drink, it's okay. Too much to drink, you can't think. Enjoy your days. I know what you're thinking. Yes, I drink them all. It was college. The bottles were singing. I was answering the call. I'm not a pushover. Oh God, here comes the hangovers. Thank you. And here are movie quotes. Great moments in cinema has to be the memorable quotes, always leaving us on a higher note. May the force be with you. Hold on to what's true. There's no place like home to try outside your dome. I'm the king of the world. Set sail across the Sparrow. Carpe diem, seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary. Make your life more than ordinary. Elementary, my dear Watson. Think and collect in all situations. It's alive! It's alive! Get up and strive to survive. My mama always said life was like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. Always be grateful and never forget. I'll be back. Come back for a little snack. You're gonna need a bigger boat. Don't want to die on a low note. Here's looking at you, kid. Be proud of what you did. My precious. Beware of obsessions. Houston, we have a problem. Don't put them off, but solve them. There's no crying in baseball. That's not true. Stand tall. E.T. phone home. Come back to your comfortable honeycomb. You can't handle the truth. Take it so you can improve. A martini shaken, not stirred. All drinks are tasty if you preferred. Life is a banquet. Most poor suckers are starving to death. Live life to your final breaths. If you bid it, he will come. Be true, love what you become. The stuff that dreams are made of is made from hard work and love. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Stay close, but don't lose your composure. I am your father. Don't question it, don't bother. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Don't stop spinning and winning. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Love life and fortune will give birth. You is kind, you is smart, you is important. Be you, even if you're a butterfly or an ant. Whatever we got here is failure to communicate. Take it out and no more hate. You talking to me? Don't be a prick, but stay at ease. A la vista, baby. See you again, maybe. All right, hope everyone enjoyed that. This one is called Bare Naked Truth. We're exposed poets. We stand naked every day. Oh, come on, you know it. One shades any day. You know it, no denying it. Our emotions are on full display. You have to quickly admit, we all write bare essays. Our words can really hit, flush out the inner gray. Yes, we're naked, don't quit. Shine your golden ray. I know some feel sick, show the world the way. Hope it can really click, chip away the hardened clay. Keep crushing those bricks, help whoever are going astray. Perform those emotional tricks, make the inner trauma delay. Give back one for those pricks, make the thunderstorms decay. Change our form to skeptics, acceptance. No more betrays. Support that man or chick, unshackle the cause, obey. Make your personality stick, give advice in life disarrays. Remove those small annoying ticks, bare naked insight you betray. You're naked. Everything is okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, Ed. What do you have coming up? I know you got these movie nights. Tell us about that?
Well, I got movie night. It's next week. We're going to have a Christmas movie night. We're going to have The Grinch Stole Christmas. We're going to have Elf. We're going to have Spirited by Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, and we're going to have so much more. And also, I have a workshop coming really soon, so please come on through. It's December 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and please, you can rhyme, but you don't have to rhyme. So please put in the time. You feel simply divine. And
Yes, sir. Go for it.
Oh, thank you, my brother. Sorry about that. If you want to follow me, please feel free. Actually, I'm sorry. Please come to this wonderful open mic. That's always a sight on our Monday nights. It's so wonderful to be in the spotlight. And if you want to follow me, please feel free. My Facebook name is Eddie Foreman, and my IG is EddieForeman92. Remember, if the mic's right, I'll be there. Simon Protest Insight. You send me a question. If you take a guess, the answer is yes. Hope everyone stays safe, healthy, and blessed, and never stop speaking or singing the wonders of served outside your chest, and never stop thinking and being your best.
Awesome, man. You got the catchphrases. You got. I messed up, man. I disturbed the flow. You can't disturb the flow. But yes, we appreciate you so much, Ed. Coming with the lightness, the jokes, and your pieces. That's cool, man. Next time you do the movie quote one, we're gonna have a checklist and see how many we can identify in that and have a little fun with it. But yeah, check out his movie nights, and of course, just all together, Ed Foreman coming with the fireman. All right, let's go ahead, and looks like we're nearing the end of our list here. And as always, when it comes to the end of a game, it must be properly closed out. So me being the manager, I'm going to run out to the mound and call to the bullpen, and calling for the righty. Let's go ahead and bring up the one, the only, Dan the Man. I hear you grumbling, getting ready. That's right, folks. You already know it is Dan the Man. Going to take it. You sound like a Muppet who's under pillow. It's hard to hear you.
It's your mic, man. I think something's in the way.
Still kind of hard to hear you. Say things.
What? Hello.
There you go. Cool.
That. Okay, go back. Sorry about that. Okay, go back to me. Okay. I'm gonna do two poetries from okay.
We can't hear you, Dan.
All right, the audio went out.
Not again.
And now it's back. That's so weird. Yeah, it's going in and out. So it works, and then it wasn't working.
Something's wrong here. Okay. Let me try.
And where is your mic? Take the book away from your chest. Where is your mic?
What's that little speaker thing?
That's his
mic too. You know what? Let me get my headphones. Hold on.
Yeah. This is Tech 101 open mic. Troubleshooting on the spot. That's what we do. We've done it plenty of times. So for those who are around right now and you're not familiar, you can follow Dan the Man on YouTube. He does have a show called Dan the Man's Weekly where he covers a lot of local events in El Paso, Texas, Las Cruces, and a lot of music, a lot of shows, a lot of events. He's always there rubbing elbows with people. And he's always here at the Monday night online mic.
All right, can you hear me now?
Definitely way better.
Okay, sorry about that. Apologize for the delay. Wait, where did I put my? Where did I put my? Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, hold on. For example, from Mary Oliver Swan. All right, page 11. Okay, the broken goal left me lifted from the sands. Let me fumble it into a box with the lid open. Okay, I put the box into my car and started up on the highway to the place where sometimes not, such things can be mended. The goal at first was quiet. How everything turns out one way or another, I won't call it good or bad, just one way or another. Then the gulls worked from the box and onto the back of the front seat and punched me. Okay, a little blood slid down. What, but what, but we all know, don't we, how sometimes things have to feel anger so as not to be defeated. I love this world, even if it's hard places. A bird too must love this world, even in its hard places. So even in if the effort may come to nothing, you have to do something. It was, generally speaking, a perfectly beautiful summer morning. The gull beat the air with its good wing. I kept my eyes on the road. Quote. Okay. And this is a very short one. Today, page 14. Today is the day of dark clouds and slow rain. The little blades of corn are so happy. Yep, Swan by Mary Oliver. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make this quick because I'm currently developing the slideshow for my next vlog. So it'll be the 5th slideshow of 2020, covering throughout September through till early this month. So all right, guys. So and next week I'm gonna start off the best of 2022 slideshow. Okay. Yeah. Hello, Spike. Okay.
And here's the card.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, not that one. Okay, here it is. Read it and weep it. I'm behind post on Twitter and Facebook, but I'm catching up on Instagram. So, but most importantly, find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. Don't forget to search my channel and subscribe. All right, and for those of you who are new here, like MJ or the other lady from the overseas, you might want to follow me, please, and subscribe to my channel, please. You got to listen to this. And for those of you, you all know the rest. And heads up, I'm about 7 blogs away till I reach 900. So, and oh yeah, 107 till I reach the maximum milestone. That's right. Guys, all right, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope to see you guys next Monday. And we start the final month of December of Child's Calendar by John Updike. Last month, December. That's right. Okay, Richie. All right, back to you. Let's see if Midnight or Christine could come up the stage and share something. If not, let's call it a night.
Do I have your permission? May I?
Okay.
No, I think we're good. You know, people. I've already asked, but I do want to thank you, Dan, for performing as always, and
You're
sharing.
welcome.
And everyone else who's read tonight. We do this every single week. So if you want to come back next week, check out the Garage Poets, check out all the other cool online events we have going on. Lighthouse Writers Tumble Words Project every Saturday. Go get some writing in. The movie nights, you know, Fincabular's got a lot of great events as well. If you haven't already, you can follow us online, Barbed Wire Open Mic on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those places. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Dead Wall Reveries. If you're watching and you're an EPCC student, you can just message me there and I'll get you the QR code. I believe I've responded to everyone who needed that today, so that's pretty cool. But we are finishing up November. In December, we will continue to do our online mics and onward until as long as people need the space, we'll be here. We also have in-person open mics, so if you're in the El Paso area or if you're ever passing through the El Paso area, hit us up. We have events. We'd love to do a reading. I love to film and record poets. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and say good night. No poetry for me tonight. But if you do want to catch some of my stuff, I do post videos of me performing and reading on my Instagram. And every now and then I'll do it here if I need to kill time. But for the online open mic, my name is Rich. We are going to stay around on the Zoom call and hang out for anyone who wants to. If you are on YouTube and want to join us, the link is in the description. As long as you're on your best behavior, you can join us. All right, but we will see you guys next week. Thank you once again for everyone who made it out. That is the end of the live stream.